everybody, to the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am your host, Davo, and we are doing something special today. For this recording session, we are doing remote recording. We are not in the same room. We're not in the Brain Ladle Operations Center. We are each in our own domiciles, in the comfort of our own homes, maybe in our underwear. I don't know. I can't see anybody. I'm not in my underwear, and I'm trusting that you guys aren't. Kels, are you in your underwear?
No, but I'm not entirely sure that you aren't.
That's a pretty safe bet. Neil, are you in your underwear?
I am wearing underwear, but that's not all I'm wearing.
The imagination runs wild. Oh my gosh. So another special announcement. We here at the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast have decided to start a Patreon. It would really help the show. It would help us to produce more and better content. And for all you listening out there, by the time you hear this, we will have a Patreon page all set up. And so go check us out and see if you have a couple bucks laying around to help us help you with your trivia knowledge. So this week, I think Neil has an announcement. Neil, what do you got?
Well, I got a email from one of our faithful listeners who pointed out a slight inaccuracy in one of our previous episodes that I thought I should address. It's pretty serious. I mean, it wasn't a question on the show or anything, so it didn't affect anybody's scores. It was really just kind of a off-the-cuff comment that our former guest, Andy, made.
Former? Well,
after this gaffe, I'm not sure he's going to be allowed on the show again.
Are we putting him on super secret probation?
It's public probation.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling dozens of people on the internet right now.
Tens of people will know what he did.
They're going to flip.
What happened, Neil?
Well, he made a comment, and I have to admit that I agreed with his comment that the rock and roll band Chicago has only put out albums with numbers in them, like Chicago 3, Chicago 4, etc. That is not true. Their very first album was called Chicago Transit Authority, and that's when their band was actually called Chicago Transit Authority in 1969. They shortened their name, and then their next album was just Chicago. Then they skipped Chicago 2 and went straight to Chicago 3. And then they skipped 4 and went straight to 5. And it's just a mess. It's a hot mess.
2 questions.
Yeah.
1, what kind of probation are you on for agreeing with false information?
That's aiding and abetting, Neil.
This is a RICO case if I ever heard one.
Well, I'm one of the bosses, so I don't have to put myself on probation.
Wow. He pulled that card.
He did real fast.
Yeah, he did.
And number 2, when did Chicago release Chicago 2 Electric Boogaloo?
I was thinking Secret of the Ooze.
You were thinking Chicago 3 Secret of the Ooze.
Well, like I said earlier, they didn't do a Chicago 2.
Oh, see, if they had released Electric Boogaloo, they would have made their catalog that. Just imagine that, Chicago and breakdancing. Cast your mind there. Peter Cetera, poppin' and lockin'.
I feel like we might have been talking about Chicago too much already.
We've talked about Chicago more than they've been talked about this century. So we probably need to move on.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I know I don't have questions because I am aghast after the Chicago gaffe that happened. I'm left without questions. Does anybody else have questions we can do for the fine listeners?
I happen to have some.
What do you got, man?
This was a set of questions that was recommended by one of our faithful listeners, Finn. And the topic today is weather.
Weather?
Could we use? Could I get that in a sentence?
The weather outside is frightful.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew exactly where you were going to go.
Fair enough.
So it's all about the environmental conditions that we experience every day in one form or another.
Well, I'm interested in this category. Let's hit it.
Gary, thanks,
Okay.
Finn.
Oh yeah, thanks, Finn.
Category 1 in weather is, what do you get? What do you think it's going to be?
Basic weather.
No. Science.
Oh no, man.
Specifically, scales.
Scales.
Scales used in weather. There's a lot of different scales you use in weather. You measure all kinds of different things, and you have to have the right terminology and the right scales to measure things.
We here at Brain Ladle love measurement. We like categorizing things. So I'm excited about this category.
Question 1. The Beaufort scale, which has 13 categories, is used to describe what weather phenomenon?
Can you spell Beaufort?
Beaufort.
See, if you were in North Carolina, it'd be the Beaufort scale. If you were in
Why
South
would you know
Carolina-
that? Why
I
would
lived
you
in
know
North
that they were-
Carolina.
Oh,
Yeah, because in South Carolina, it's Beaufort. Fun little trivia nugget that is me stalling because I'm lost.
Davo, how you doing over there?
I'm doing all right. I'm going to think a little bit out the box. I'm going to go outside the box on the first one. And I don't know if this precisely is a weather phenomenon, but I always see it on the news during the weather report. Report is the word I wanted to say.
I was about to say, what word was that?
But
Is
rather-
that how they pronounce it in South Carolina?
Now do that weather report. Here's Rodney,
I'm locked.
Rodney Beaufort with the weather report. Have it hot. I'm locked in with something.
It's hot out here.
Oh, it's so hot, it's sticky.
I'm locked in with some.
Okay, Davo.
I went with pollen count.
Interesting. Kels.
I just said something crazy like blizzards.
It measures wind speed.
Really?
Yep. He describes it as things like gales or things like that.
That's a good one. I like that.
So here's a little interesting trivia nugget for you. He developed the scale for his own private use in 1805. So he was the only one that used it. But then he commissioned a science expedition under Captain Robert Fitzroy and suggested that Fitzroy take his measurements using this Beaufort scale. The ship that Robert Fitzroy was captaining was the HMS Beagle with a young man named Charles Darwin on board.
My gosh. That's awesome.
So that's another, that Beagle expedition had quite a bit of good science being done. on it.
That is more than a trivia nugget. That is a bountiful trivia chunk.
So the Bounty was a different ship.
Oh, my side.
And good paper towel while we're at it.
We're not sponsored by Bounty. Let's keep them.
Okay. Well, I didn't put them together. I just said
Right.
paper towel.
Well, since you like that question so much, you're going to love the next one.
Oh.
The enhanced Fujita scale started being used in the United States in 2007 and in Canada in 2013. It replaced the old Fujita scale, which was developed in the 1970s. What does the enhanced Fujita scale measure?
I am locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
Kelvin?
I went with tornadoes.
Devo?
Oh, the heat index.
It measures tornadoes.
Hey, good job, Kels.
Thanks.
It's
I think that's
interesting-
where the F comes from.
Oh, F1, F2. Got it.
It's an interesting way to measure things because they can't really measure a tornado as it's happening very well. So the scale is actually based on the damage caused by the tornado.
So you can measure. So you measure the wreckage and the swath of destruction, and that's how they determine what it is, even though they're forecasting possible F2, F3.
Well, I think they know, based on the severity of the storm, what the range that they can expect is. But when they want to say a certain category tornado hit a certain area, they look at the damage caused by it.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Question 3 in scales. At what temperature are the Fahrenheit and Celsius scales the same?
Oh, man. I used to know this.
So did I. I'm locked in with what I thought I remembered.
I'm wrong, but I am locked in.
Davo?
0.
Kels?
On with negative 15 degrees.
Okay. The correct answer is negative 40. 0 degrees Celsius is freezing.
Is 32 degrees. Yeah. You know, Neil, I don't need you to nitpick my bad answers. Okay.
No, I was just not nitpicking exactly. I'm just
I'm
explaining
very
why you're
sensitive
wrong.
that I got that wrong.
Are you?
I should have not. I should have known that.
Well, you could have calculated it too. You know the conversion, right?
Stop it.
According to Bob and Doug McKenzie, you just double it and add 30.
A.
You hoser.
Double it at 30.
Question 4 in scales.
Can I interrupt you real quick with a McKenzie Brothers trivia nugget?
Yeah.
So apparently on SCTV that the show was on, and I learned this on the interweb, so you know it's true. That since they were on the CBC, they had to have a certain amount of all Canadian content. So they made that little bit at the end of their show to get the amount of content they needed that was Canadian, because there were Americans on the cast. It was literally just those two guys, Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis, riffing as hillbilly Canadians for a couple of minutes to fill out time.
Really?
Yeah. And that accent is essentially the kind of redneck Canadian accent.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that trivia nugget.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with scales because I'm not happy with them.
So here's a nugget on top of your nugget. I'm going to call you nugget.
And raise me another nugget?
The criteria they use for determining how much Canadian stuff has to be on, this is on the radio. I'm sure there's something similar for TV. But they look at 4 elements that have to qualify a song as being Canadian. The music, artist, performance, and lyrics, which are MAPL. So it's the maple system.
That is perfect. Yeah, that made my day.
I guess we're done here then.
But we got one more question in scales. I've got to redeem myself.
You'll get this one.
Yay.
I'll save the easiest for the last.
Yay.
Question 4. Barometric pressure is often measured in inches. Inches of what?
Okay, I'm locked in.
I might be misunderstanding what's asked of me, but I'm locked in.
I love your caveats sometimes, Kels.
Well, I need them.
Davo?
So my mom has a little barometric pressure measuring thing at her house and it's a bunch of little balls filled with liquid in a big tube full of liquid that raise and lower as the barometric pressure changes. So I went with inches of water.
Interesting. Kels?
Well, I kind of figured that part, but I was thinking, I don't know why, like pounds per square inch. And I just totally missed this one. I just put pounds.
Inches of pounds?
Yeah, it didn't make sense when I wrote it either.
Wow.
Well, at least you recognize that.
Yeah, I know.
No, Davo, I know exactly the device you're talking about, but the original barometers were these tubes that were filled with mercury. And at normal pressures, at an average pressure, there'd be maybe 30, I forget the exact numbers, 37 inches of mercury in this tube. And then as the pressure raised or lowered, the level would go up or down.
So you were wrong too.
At least I had an actual something.
Oh, well, It's still an X next to that one, isn't it?
Yeah. After one round of scales, we can measure Davo's score as the baseline of 0.
That is correct, and Kelvin's got 10.
Kels has one more little notch up on the little scale of scales.
Now the scale is little.
Let's move on out of science.
Thank you.
We'll go to something you may feel a little more comfortable with, Davo.
Comic books? Movies?
History.
Hey, I have a degree in that somewhere.
Oh, this bodes well for me.
I'm coming back. I just was writing it down on my tablet and I misspelled history, so I'm doing well. There's no E in history.
Question 1. On August 6, 1945, a weather reconnaissance plane reported, quote, cloud cover less than 3/10, which cleared the way for what event?
I'm locked in.
So basically, because there was less than 30% cloud coverage, some event happened.
Okay, I'm locked in.
Okay, Davo?
The flight of the Enola Gay.
Okay. Kels?
I went with the bombing of Hiroshima.
Correct answer is the bombing of Hiroshima.
So we're both right.
You are. Well,
Yes.
that's not the only time the Enola Gay flew.
Oh, you.
But I think I know what you were getting at, so I'll give you credit for it.
I won't get so cute next time.
Question 2. Kublai Khan attempted to invade Japan in the 13th century at least twice, but he was thwarted both times by monsoons. How were these monsoons described by the Japanese? What word did they use?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in, not comfortable, but locked in.
Davo?
What was tsunami?
Okay. Kels?
I also went with tsunami.
Tsunami is a big water event, like a tidal wave. The correct answer is kamikaze.
Oh, I even wrote down divine wind. Oh my God.
I did not know that, so.
Kamikaze is translated as divine wind.
I did not know that. That's cool. Dave, did you get that right? No, you wrote the same thing.
Yeah, I got cute again. I'm just loving being cute. No more cute. It's all business now.
I'm pretty sure that's what you said last time.
Well, I mean it this time.
Okay. Well, let's see you get cute with the Revolutionary War.
No, boy.
The first major battle of the Revolutionary War was won by the British. It might have been the last battle, if not for a heavy fog that helped to conceal the escape of the American troops across the East River. What was the name of the battle? There's 3 possible answers I'll accept. And just since you can't see what I wrote, the East River that's the name of the river.
Mm-hmm. I'm locked in with something.
You said this was the first battle?
It was the first major battle of the Revolutionary War. Not the first battle, but the first big one.
Okay, I'm locked in.
Dava?
New York.
Kels?
I went with Trenton.
The answers I would accept are the Battle of Long Island, or the Battle of Brooklyn, or the Battle of Brooklyn Heights.
I've never heard of those.
I've heard of all of those. I am an idiot.
Well, those are all basically the same battle.
Yes.
Was there a Battle of Trenton in the Revolutionary War?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Probably.
I was just making sure I didn't make that up.
So in case you weren't clear, the East River is the river that goes down the east side of Manhattan. So they were on the east side of Manhattan, which is Long Island or Brooklyn, depending on where exactly you are. Okay, well, I guess we'll just keep going, huh? We'll just keep plowing through this. And
I mean, we got to keep going. I got to redeem myself somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, the next category is going to be sports. So just something to look forward to as we get through this last question in history. Question 4 in history. On Easter Monday, 1360, a massive hailstorm near Chartres killed about 1,000 English troops, which was about 10% of the army, and possibly 6,000 horses. The king believed the storm to be a sign from God and decided to negotiate with the French, essentially ending the first phase of what conflict? And for a bonus, name the king who was leading the army.
What was the year again?
1360.
Okay, I've locked in.
I've locked in as well.
Davo?
I went with the War of the Roses and Henry V.
Okay. Kels?
I forgot about the king part, but I wasn't gonna get it right. I went with the 100 Years' War, and I felt like I was way too early with that one.
Well, it ended about 30 years into the 100 Years' War. So the 100 Years' War was in several phases, and this ended first phase of the 100 Years' War.
King.
And the king was King Edward III.
Oh, King Thomas. Son of a blah. I'm doing great, guys. This is wonderful.
Well, I mean, you're on the board now.
Yeah, put
We got
history together.
we got sports coming up.
Yeah. Yay. So at the end of round 2, the scale of scoring is still Davo at the bottom with 10, Kels with 30.
Okay. I'm expecting perfect rounds in sports from the two of you guys.
You've got it. I'm in it to win it. It's a sports joke.
Okay, sports. And I know you guys are both huge Olympics fans,
Love it.
especially the Winter Olympics.
Brr.
I hate it. Oh gosh. Okay.
Question 1. The Sochi Olympics used almost entirely artificial snow for its skiing and snowboarding events. What North American Winter Games was the first Olympics to use artificial snow?
I'm locked in.
I'm fishing.
But where are you fishing?
Probably in the wrong place, but
Are you fishing in a certain lake?
stop. All right, I'm locked in.
Davo, you seem pretty confident on this
I'm
one.
not. I'm just being a jerk. My first instinct, I had a couple. I had thought about the ones in California. Weren't they in Squaw Valley?
Squaw Valley.
I thought about that, and then I was like, nah, that might be a little too early. So then I thought, obviously, it's going to be Lake Placid. But, you know, we're going to think a little bit farther outside the box. And I went with Vancouver.
Okay. Kels?
I went with Salt Lake City.
All right. The correct answer is 1980 Lake Placid.
Should have been fishing in that lake.
I thought it was pretty funny when you were
Yeah,
doing
you
that.
said lake.
You know, sometimes you got it, and then there's me.
Okay, so maybe Olympics isn't your thing. Let's go to football.
I like football.
The coldest Super Bowl on record was Super Bowl VI in 1972. The temperature was 39 degrees at kickoff. In what city was it held? And for bonus points, tell me what the final score was and or who was playing in it.
Oh man.
The score, I that's kind of a joke. I don't think you could get the score. But if you could tell me, I'll give you a point for either or both of the teams.
Can I give you the spread on the game?
I'm looking for where Super Bowl VI was held, the coldest Super Bowl ever.
I'm locked in.
Of course you are, show off.
Oh, I've been such a show off so far.
I had to throw something out there. It was feeling pretty bad.
I feel like you guys aren't going to let me do questions anymore.
Well, your suspension is we've been floating it around telepathically.
Well, quite frankly, after the taco episode, someone needs to do questions that are a bit difficult.
That is a good point.
Question 1, what is football? Yeah, we need a little bit more.
Okay, I'm locked in.
Kels?
I went with Philadelphia for the place. And I just threw out the Dolphins and the Patriots.
What?
Davo?
Well, I went with New Orleans. at Tulane Stadium. I think it was outdoors. And I believe the teams were Baltimore and Dallas.
All right. Kels gets 1 bonus point for the Dolphins. Davo gets 11 points for getting New Orleans and the Cowboys.
Yay!
Question 3 in sports. On New Year's Eve in 1988 in Soldier Field, the Bears beat the Eagles despite visibility of 10 to 15 yards. Many players were complaining because they couldn't see the first down markers on the sidelines due to what type of weather event?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Kels?
I went with a blizzard.
Davo?
Fog.
It was fog.
I remember watching this game. It was I thought it was a playoff game.
It might have been. It was on New Year's Eve, so it was pretty late.
Yeah.
And what year was this?
88.
You were 4.
Oh, okay.
Shush, baby.
Nah, I was 3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Get it right, Davo.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get it, you're gonna throw a number out there, make it right.
Yeah. God, you're such a baby.
You know, he may be a baby because of his age, but you whine a lot more than he does.
I never mentioned maturity at all, Mr. Farty
Fair
Pants.
Oh, somebody needs a
Question-
nappy.
Question 4. What type of weather event interrupted an SEC tournament game at the Georgia Dome in 2008?
Did you say the Georgia Dome?
The Georgia Dome, a weather event, interrupted an SEC tournament game, basketball tournament at the Georgia Dome.
Okay, I'm of 2 minds, so I'm going to go with the second one. I'm locked in.
I'm also locked in.
Davo?
So my first instinct was flood, because the Georgia Dome is a dome, and you play basketball inside. So not a lot of weather can happen. So I thought, hey, maybe it flooded, like a leak in the roof or something. But then I thought, hey, what about a thunderstorm causing a power outage? So I said thunderstorm.
Okay. Interesting logic. Kels?
I went with because I seem to remember this because they had to move the games to I can't remember where they had to move them to, but I felt like there was a hole in the roof, like the court was getting wet. So I went with flooding from a hurricane.
Okay. It's pretty good logic. Davo, there's one other thing that could cause that, and that would be a tornado hitting the Georgia Dome and ripping part of the roof off.
That is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can tell you how they measure tornadoes now.
What scale is that?
The enhanced Fujita scale.
Excellent.
But
Which replaced.
the old and busted Fujita scale.
I call it Fujita scale classic.
So a tornado? It was,
Yeah.
holy moly. That's terrifying.
What do we have at the end of round 2? Is
3.
that round
We're
2?
3. At the end of round 3, halftime, if you will. There are 31 flavors of correctness, and both Davo and Kels are there.
Category 4 is literature.
Do any of the books have superheroes in them?
No, not exactly.
Then I'm in. Let's do this.
Oh, the struggle bus is real.
Okay, I'm going to read the introduction and first line of a play, and you need to tell me what play it is.
Could it be
Roger,
kid
Roger.
and play?
Only if you get a high top fade.
I refuse. What? Go ahead, Neil. I'm sorry.
Are you guys done?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're focused up now. I apologize.
Okay.
I'm ready.
We're in it.
The first few lines are just the kind of the setting and the screen or
The stage direction.
stage. Yeah. Act 1, Scene 1, a desert place. Thunder and lightning. Enter 3 witches. The first witch says, "When shall we 3 meet again in thunder, lightning, or in rain?"
I'm locked in.
Wow. Jinx.
You owe me a soda.
Dava?
Macbeth.
Kels?
I also went with Macbeth.
See, you guys were worried about that.
I still am. I mean,
I'm feeling good now.
Question 2 in literature. The Grapes of Wrath tells the story of a farming family from Oklahoma who moves to California to escape a drought. What is the name of the family? Their last name.
Okay, you're going to love my logic on this. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to write this down. And hopefully, I'm locked in.
I don't think that was a sentence what it just said. But I don't know at all. So you know what I like to do in moments like this.
What's that?
I go for smiles, Neil. I go for smiles. I am locked in. I went with the Obama family.
Ah.
They got to start somewhere.
Davo?
Okay. The reason I think I know this is because of a Rage Against the Machine song. And
you may be on the right track.
I don't want to say what I wrote because it's kind of funny, and I don't mean it to be. I just don't remember how it's pronounced. So I wrote down Chode, but I think it's Jode, right?
What's your answer?
Well, I wrote down Choade.
Okay.
But I think it's Joade.
Well, if you think it's one thing, I wrote down something else. Why did you?
Because I legitimately want to know, because I've been hearing the ghost of Tom Chode forever. And I feel like I'm wrong.
Well, Rage Against the Machine did have a song called The Ghost of Tom Joad. Joad.
Okay, and that's the family, right?
That's the name of the family, yeah.
Dang it. I was on the right track. Cool.
You know, I'll give you half credit for that if you will accept my charity.
I love charity.
Oh, well, you're lucky Jay-Z never did a song about the Grapes of Wrath. And I would have known it too. Instead, I was only taught about hustling. All right.
There's quite a few songs about that book. Woody Guthrie had a 2-part song called Tom Joad.
Oh man, I got that album too.
Do you?
You went with you dropped Jay-Z, but you had the Woody Guthrie album?
Of course I don't. I don't even know who Woody Guthrie is.
Oh. Okay.
Chris Christopherson wrote a song based on a scene. Bruce Springsteen's 11th album is called The Ghost of Tom Joad. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there.
I don't think the lead singer for Rage Against the Machine enunciates very well. So I blame him for my 5 points.
That's what they're known for, is their enunciation.
Yeah, when you think Rage Against the Machine, you think flawless diction.
Question 3 in literature. In 1830, a gentleman known as Edward Bulwer Lytton wrote one of the most famous opening lines in all of literature. There's even an annual competition memorializing him. What was the opening line to his novel, Paul Clifford? Paul Clifford's the name of his novel.
I'm locked in.
All right, I'm locked in with something.
Okay, Davo?
It was a dark and stormy night.
Kels?
I went with sunny days, chasing the clouds away.
The correct answer is it was a dark and stormy night.
Woo-hoo.
There's an annual competition for the worst opening line to a novel. People just send in opening lines to novels without actually having the whole novels written. But here's a trivia nugget about Mr. Bulwer Lytton.
Okay.
He was actually pretty well respected. One phrase that he penned is, "The pen is mightier than the sword." The same guy wrote that, and it was a dark and stormy night.
That's a nice twofer, though. That's pretty cool.
Here's the full line. That's only the first phrase of his opening sentence.
Mm-hmm.
The full sentence is, "It was a dark and stormy night, semicolon. The rain fell in torrents, except at occasional intervals when it was checked by a violent gust of wind which swept up the streets, parentheses, for it is in London that our scene lies, in parentheses, rattling along the housetops and fiercely agitating the scanty flame of the lamps that struggled against the darkness.
How will I ever know what's happening without a vivid description?
He probably should have just stopped at a dark and stormy night.
Question 4. This 1978 children's book about very unusual weather was made into a 2009 animated movie starring Bill Hader and Anna Faris.
Locked in.
Yeah, once again, I have no clue.
You'll hate yourself when you hear it.
We sure about that?
Yes.
All right, I'm locked in.
Kels?
Just pull one out of the hat, and I said cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Davo?
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Correct answer is cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Yay.
That's round 4.
It is.
In the books. What's the score?
Davo has surged ahead with 66, where Kels is at 51. Because apparently I like books.
Yeah. And Rage Against the Machine.
And Rage Against the Machine. Killing in the name of... Okay, go ahead.
How do you feel about movies?
I love them.
I can go either way with them.
Oh, you're just salty.
Yes.
Now who's whining?
Yeah.
I don't want. Oh, that's real mature.
Movies, question 1. I think this movie is about the Brat Pack investigating a weather phenomenon in which luminous plasma is created by a coronal discharge from a sharper pointed object in a strong electric field in the atmosphere, but I'm not sure. What's the name of the movie?
What?
I'm locked in.
I don't know how to put it any more clearly, Kels.
I mean, come on, Kels.
I'm sorry, people who were of age in the 80s, but
Bite your tongue, man.
Well, I just described the weather phenomenon. Sometimes I do feel bad that I've got so many 80s and early 90s related things that Kels is completely clueless about.
That's the part of it, man. Trivia, you dig up weird stuff that you learn. He can hit us with early 2000s stuff that makes us feel like we're decrepit and need bifocals and canes and stuff.
I actually do have bifocals.
I fun fact, I am getting bifocals.
Do you know who the Brat Pack is, Kels?
Is Anthony Michael Hall in it?
Well, I'm not going to answer.
I don't know.
I'm just curious if you've heard the term. And
I've heard it, yeah. Okay. But I'm drawing a blank, though, honestly.
Are you going to punt?
No. I'll go with something. I'll leave punting for you, Ray Guy.
Oh,
sorry, Neil, a little sports joke.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray Guy, famous punter.
Oh. Yeah, I totally misunderstood that. I thought you were saying for your Ray Guy.
Punctuation is key, Neil.
Yeah.
Punctuation is key.
Parentheses.
I'm just writing something. I'm locked in.
Okay, Kels, what did you write down?
Other than hatred for myself, I wrote down Tropic Thunder.
Okay. Davo?
St. Elmo's Fire.
You ever heard of that movie, Kels?
Heard of it, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's be honest, Neil. It's not the best movie.
Well, no.
But it's
That's
got an amazing sweaty Rob Lowe playing a saxophone scene. That's key to the film. Key. Because it makes you think, my God, how is he sweating so much in a club playing saxophone?
But yeah, Kels, I would say that Anthony Michael Hall was probably at least a peripheral member of the Brat Pack, although he wasn't in St. Elmo's Fire. That was mostly Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, Judd Nelson,
and Andrew McCartney.
Andrew McCarthy.
Emilio
Weekend at
Estevez.
Bernie's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Weekend at Bernie's. Emilio Estevez, Ali Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy.
So most
the
of the
redhead.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of
Molly Ringwald?
pretty much the Breakfast Club plus a few others.
Yeah.
Molly Ringwald in it?
Molly Ringwald, that's who I was trying to think
Oh, wow. Yeah.
of. All right, question 2 in movies. It only took 7 years for the title of this 2000 movie about the Andrea Gale to be on the list of phrases that should be banned from the English language for overuse.
Locked in.
See, it's a 2000 movie, and I'm like, what?
How old
that,
were you in
please?
2000?
It's more how old were my kids. And my oldest would have been 1, so I didn't see anything for like 4 years. It's a boat, right? No. Overuse the title. Flabba-da-dabba. I almost wrote flabba-da-dabba. I bet you didn't know how to spell that.
You were really close, though.
Spelling doesn't matter, usually.
Oh, I'm going to kick myself right in the Oh, okay. I think I got something. I'm writing it down. I'm locked in.
Okay. What'd you write down?
Perfect storm.
Kels?
He's correct. It's the perfect storm.
It is a perfect storm.
George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg. Well, those are the only two people I can remember in it. But
And that other guy.
yeah. You know, Stevie. I don't know what his name is, but I watched that movie once, and I remember the name of the boat because my sister's name is Andrea Gill.
Oh, wow. So did your sister get pickup lines like "You are the perfect storm"
I would hope not.
around that time? Because that's probably what I would have done and gotten slapped.
I think Kels would have to beat a sucker up if he heard that.
Yeah, you're going to do something.
Well, I think luckily I might have been the only person in Camden to watch The Perfect Storm that year. So I don't think it was talked about at school much. So
Question 3 in movies. You can't really have a movie storm weather question without talking about Twister.
oh boy.
So, do you guys remember the flying cow in
I
Twister?
remember the flying cow.
Yes.
Industrial Light and Magic, who did all the special effects for that movie, they weren't really prepared for how much special effects were going to be in the movie. They were running out of time. So to save some time, they copied and tweaked a zebra used in what movie released the previous year and turned the zebra into a cow. So what was the movie that they borrowed that zebra from?
I'm locked in.
Also locked in.
Davo?
I went Jumanji.
Kels?
Jumanji.
Correct answer is Jumanji.
So flying through the air in where wasn't it, Kansas, is a zebra?
Well, I think they reskinned it. It looks like a cow, but
Fooled me.
it was based on the model of a
Of a zebra.
Do you know, just on a little bit of a tangent here, and we might do this on a movie podcast, we're cooking in the old brain ladle stew. Do you know how many movies have seemingly been ruined by HD TVs?
Ruined by HD
Ruined.
TVs?
Yeah.
like 5.
Like all of the movie, like if like think of a heavily special affected movie from back in the day. Like I was watching a video of Return of the Jedi
Yeah.
and the speeder bikes flying through the forest moon of Endor.
Oh, it's bad.
Looks like hot trash. Hot trash. And when you first saw it, it was like the greatest thing ever.
Well, in my defense, I didn't see it too much later.
Right. But so your frame of reference is, oh my gosh, these are quaint special effects.
Yeah, pretty
Right?
much.
My frame of reference is this is the best thing I ever saw when I was a child. And now I'm looking at it like, God, this is awful.
I don't have an HGTV.
You know what?
You have a floor model TV, like a Magnavox?
I got this giant CRT that's. We're gonna get rid of it when we move.
It probably weighs as much as your house.
Oh, I can't. I cannot lift it on my own. It's massive. It's like a 40-something inch CRT.
Good gravy.
Wow.
I bought it about 20 years ago. Still works great.
Well,
if you don't mind kind of the curved glass screen kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you could probably cook food near it for putting off enough rads.
All right. Question 4 in movies. What made-for-TV movie series had sequels subtitled The Second One, Oh Hell No, The Fourth Awakens, and Global Swarming?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well, and I might have a trivia nugget.
Kels, what's your answer?
I went with Sharknado.
Davo?
I went with Sharknado as well.
It is Sharknado.
A nadir of cinema, if there ever was one. So the nugget, I thought I saw
by
they're
nadir,
making...
by nadir, do you mean Apex?
No, I mean nadir.
Oh.
Yeah, we're talking... Yeah, nadir. So I think I saw an advertisement for another one of those abominations called like Sharknado Enough's Enough, or That's It. You know, basically like, okay, we're done sort of title. If you could, anybody could look that up and tweet it at us, we'd love to see it. But I believe it's like Enough's Enough.
Yeah, they really could have done that after the first one or two.
Oh my God.
They should have did that in the production meeting for the first one. Like, yeah, come on now. This is too much.
All right, what are our scores after round 5?
Davo with 106, Kelvin with 81.
Round 6. I was kind of racking my brain trying to figure out what other categories could I do for weather. And so I settled on another science round. Because we had so much fun with the first one.
That was a laugh riot.
But there's a twist on this one. This is weather on other planets.
Well, I got a shot.
Yeah, I do too.
You guys are kind of underwhelming me with your enthusiasm.
Oh, well, I got a shot.
I'm in it to win it.
There we go.
You got the touch.
You got the power. I'm ready, man.
Question 1 in extraterrestrial weather. In 2012, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter detected dry ice snow falling on Mars. Dry ice is the solid form of what gas?
Locked in?
I'm just going to take a stab at it, but I'm locked in.
Devo?
CO2?
Kels?
It's a lot better than what I wrote. I just went with nitrogen.
It's carbon dioxide.
Yay! Real fast, how much do you enjoy on a scale, on the enhanced Fujita scale, Neil? How much do you enjoy saying interplanetary weather?
I've never said that. I said extraterrestrial weather.
Ah, I wrote down interplanetary. So extraterrestrial weather. How much do you enjoy that?
I like it.
F1?
No, I'd say F6.
Wow, blowing the roof off of everything.
I don't even know if that's on the scale.
It is now.
I was about to say, I thought it stopped at 5.
It is now.
I mean, I'll give you a hint. All of these questions are in our solar system, but I could have actually done some that are extrasolar planets or exoplanets, because we know a little bit about some weather that's going on there.
That's awesome. Awesome. It's not necessarily my bag, my cup of tea, but I'll sample it. I'll take a sip of it and say, "Huh, that's neat."
Question 2 in extraterrestrial weather. Venus is the planet that is most like the Earth in size, but its surface is pretty harsh. The atmospheric pressure is 92 times what ours is, and it's hot enough to melt lead. What gas makes up over 96% of the atmosphere of Venus?
No. Yes? Yes. No. Yes. Locked in.
I'm locked in.
Devo?
See, I don't remember what color, if we can know what color Venus is. I'm sure we do. I don't remember. So I was thinking like maybe hydrogen, maybe something else, but I settled with methane.
Okay.
I want hydrogen.
If you knew a little bit about Venus, you would know that the reason it's so hot is because of runaway greenhouse effects that happened millions of years ago. And do you know what one of the gases that causes greenhouse effects on a planet? Carbon dioxide.
Is the answer again carbon dioxide?
It is.
You sneaky devil.
Well, yeah. No, it's mostly carbon dioxide with a little bit of nitrogen.
Really?
I almost wrote nitrogen again, but I would have been wrong. But I would have been closer.
Yeah, nitrogen makes up at like 3.5% of the atmosphere, and then the rest of it is a bunch of other stuff. There's probably not any water because it boiled off and the hydrogen has been carried away by the solar winds. But no, we know pretty well know what color Venus is.
I don't.
It's the brightest planet on the sky.
I thought that was well, it looks like a star. So, what color is Venus?
Yeah, we've actually had probes land on it and take pictures of it.
Me, no. What color is it?
What color is it?
Yeah,
it's Venusian color.
You know what? I'm asking sincerely, and you're treating me okay. Fine. What's question 3?
Well, no, I figured this was like your joke that you played earlier, and you actually knew the answer. And
which joke? The chode or the jode? No, I sincerely don't know.
It's very light colored.
Okay. It's not like red like Mars or...
Nah, no. It's kind of like in the bluish family, isn't it? Like blue, white, kind of... Oh, yeah. I don't know.
For all of our listeners that like science and know this sort of thing, tweet us at Ladle Brain because I'm a science Nimrod.
And I used to know it.
Okay, you're gonna get this one though.
If it's carbon dioxide, I might quit.
It is not carbon. There are no more answers that are carbon dioxide in this quiz. Question 3: what is the common name for the biggest planetary storm in our solar system? And for a bonus point, what planet is it on?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in too.
Kels?
I went with the big red spot, and it's on Jupiter.
Davo?
I wrote down the eye, and it's on Jupiter, the big red eye. But I just wrote down the eye of Jupiter kind of thing.
The correct answer, the answer I have written down is the great red spot on Jupiter. Let me see if the eye is an actual synonym.
If it's not, it should be, because it's the eye of Jupiter looking right at us. It's pretty sweet.
I'm not seeing it called eye anywhere.
Well, it should be. Get Neil deGrasse Tyson on the phone. Let's tweet at that guy. Why isn't it called the eye of Jupiter? Because it sounds ominous and cool. And would get people like me interested in science.
Oh, really? The young old age
of what now? Say it.
I don't know. Well, I forgot, honestly.
Yeah, there's so many of them. You whippersnapper.
So all I'm seeing right now is an episode from the 3rd season of Battlestar Galactica that was called The Eye of Jupiter.
See? If it's on Battlestar Galactica, it's got to be cool.
You don't even like that show.
Stop it. I'm trying to help myself here. And I do like that show. I just got tired of Starbuck. But that's another episode for another day of the sci-fi TV show we may do. I don't know.
You know what? I'll give it to you.
What?
Because,
What?
Well, hang on. Let me tell you my reasoning. I've been doing a little Googling here. I found an article from CNBC, which says the title is NASA spacecraft to fly over, quote, Eye of Jupiter for the first time in history.
That means they weren't serious about it.
It wasn't a sardonic quotes like the eye of Jupiter. Oh, really? This looks like
Do
an
you
eye.
know? Do you know where their head was when they typed that up?
I suspect they were trying to let you know that it wasn't a literal eye on a planet.
Davo.
Well, I'm glad they cleared that up for me.
So I'm going to give it to you because I know what you were talking about. You did get the planet right.
Yeah. There you go. Kels. More pity for the science inept.
So do you know how long the Great Red Spot has been observed?
At least 20 minutes.
Close.
No, many, many thousands of years.
Well, no.
10 years.
Well,
I don't know. Obviously. Clearly.
200 years.
Officially, it's something like 188 years. We couldn't really see the eye without telescopes, Davo. So
I did know that.
when do you think telescopes were invented?
You know,
1978.
Ancient Egyptians did not have telescopes.
aliens. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, it was first observed in 1830. There's some suggestion that it may have been observed earlier, but we can't be sure if it was that one or a different storm. And it's getting smaller.
Is it losing strength?
Yeah, apparently.
It's been going a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right now it's big enough the Earth would easily fit right in the middle of it. It's about 1.3 times larger in diameter than the Earth is.
That's inconceivable. They might as well just say that's friggin' huge. That's just,
yeah, well, that's the official term. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friggin' huge.
Friggin' huge.
Question 4. Saturn has a unique polar storm that was first discovered in 1981 by Voyager, but it's probably much older than that. What interesting shape is Saturn's North Pole storm?
What interesting shape is Saturn's polar storm?
Yeah, it's not just a circle. It's
right.
An actual shape. Well, a circle is an actual shape, but it's a regular shape.
We don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, no.
We all know what we're talking about. Aliens.
I wrote an answer down, Neil.
I wrote one down as well. I'm locked in.
Kels, what did you write?
I just went with triangular.
Davo?
See, I went with spherical. Like it's got dimensions, you know? You can't just see the top. It's a big ball hanging off there, like a pimple.
You have to lance that thing.
Yeah.
That is so disturbing.
And it's known as the pimple of Saturn.
They teach it in school now, so
They do.
It's really interesting if you look at pictures of it. If you Google the Saturn storm, you'll see that it is a really clear hexagon.
Wow.
I almost wrote that.
That's cool. No, all joking aside, that sounds amazing.
It's really neat. Okay, that brings us to the end of Science Mark II.
You want to say it again? Go ahead and say it.
Extraterrestrial weather.
That's so sweet. Before the final round, the scores are Davo with 127 and Kels with 92.
It's not exactly a runaway.
Telling you, movies saved my bacon. Yeah, go ahead.
The category for the final question is song titles, and it's a lightning round.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to give you some song titles, and you need to give me the name of the artist who popularized the song. I'm going to give you 10 song titles. You need to get at least 7 of them correct to get full credit.
Okay. And you'll read the question once?
Yeah, I'll go through them and give you a couple of seconds to you can either make a note of the answer or the title, and then I'll give you a minute or two at the end to think about it. Do you have your wagers in?
I
Yes.
do. I'm locked in.
Locked in.
Okay, I'm going to give you 10 song titles. These are in chronological order, and I wanted to spread it out a little bit, so I've got 2 from the 60s, 2 from the 70s, 2 from the 80s, 2 from the 90s, and 2 from the aughts.
Or the naughties.
All of these, every one of these songs was in the Billboard Top 100. Only a couple of them didn't make it past halfway, but they were all reasonably popular in their day.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready to go?
So I'm going to give you the name of the song and the year, just so that you don't, because some of these songs were done by multiple people, or other
Right.
people have similar
Covered
song
it or
names.
something. Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, Heat Wave, 1963. Number 2, Here Comes the Sun, 1969. Number 3, Have You Ever Seen the Rain, 1971. Number 4, You're the Sunshine of My Life, 1973. Number 5, It's Raining Men, 1982. Number 6, Walking on Sunshine, 1983. Number 7, November Rain, 1991. Number 8, Only Happy When It Rains, 1996. Number 9, Umbrella, 2007. And number 10, Pocket Full of Sunshine, 2008. So I'll give you a minute or two to get your thoughts in order, and then we'll come back and score this up. I'll go through the questions again. You tell me your answers, and I'll tell you if you're right. Question 1 was Heat Wave. Devo?
I punted on Heatwave.
Kels?
I want Martha and the Vandellas.
Martha and the Vandellas. So here's a little trivia nugget. I was really curious what the heck a Vandella was. Do you know what a Vandella is, Kels?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's not actually a thing. It was a mashup. I guess there's a street in Detroit called Van Dyke Street. So the Van is from Van Dyke, and I think Martha's favorite singer was Della Reese.
Oh,
So they combined Van Dyke and Della Reese to get Vandellas.
That's cool.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Question 2, Here Comes the Sun. Devo?
Beatles?
Kels?
punted.
That is the Beatles.
Ah.
Have you ever seen the rain? Devo?
CCR?
Kels?
I went with the Who.
Creedence Clearwater Revival. You Are the Sunshine of My Life. Kels?
Stevie Wonder.
Devo?
Stevie Wonder.
That is correct. It's Raining Men. Devo?
The Weather Girls.
Kels?
The Weather Girls.
You know that was written or co-written by Paul Schaefer.
What, really?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
They shopped it around to a lot of the singers. He wrote it in like 79. It came out in 82 because he couldn't find anybody to record it.
I wonder why.
Walking on Sunshine. Kels?
This is a wild guess. Katrina and the Waves.
Devo?
Not so wild. Katrina and the Waves.
It is Katrina and the Waves. November Rain. Devo?
Guns N' Roses.
Kels?
Guns N' Roses.
Okay, that is correct. Only Happy When It Rains. Kels?
Punt.
Devo?
Garbage.
That is Garbage. Number 9, Umbrella. Devo?
Ella. Rihanna.
Kels?
Rihanna.
That is right. And Pocket Full of Sunshine. Devo?
See, this one I just got stuck because I wrote down Beck, but it's not Beck because he has a lyric in one of his songs that's Pocket Full of Sunshine. Never mind. Beck.
Kels.
Natasha Bedingfield.
Oh, come on.
Natasha Bedingfield.
Ugh.
I didn't keep track, but I'm pretty sure you each got at least 7, right?
Let me see. I got 1. I got 7 exactly.
I got 8.
So it comes down to wagers. What did you wager, Kels?
I wagered 73 points.
Wow. Go big or go home. Or maybe
Should've
go
gone
big
bigger.
and go home. I guess they're not mutually exclusive. Okay, Davo, what did you bet?
58 points.
Which brings you to
185.
Kels.
165.
Oh, Kels. You're killing me, man.
Yeah.
I did the crappy thing and bet exactly how much I needed to beat you by 1.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
figured.
wow. You assume that I'm a dastardly player?
Yeah, because I know.
It's not an assumption if you know it.
Well played, Davo.
Well, thank you. It was a good set of questions. I like thank you, Finn, for some really good questions.
Yeah, much appreciation, Finn.
Finn didn't do the questions, just the topic.
We can
I'm
still show
responsible
love.
for all the pain I just put you through.
Well,
Well,
see,
you're cool too, Neil.
much like seeding the clouds to create a thunderstorm, Finn dropped that idea in your noggin. And you got this wonderful hailstorm of trivia pain. That was 2 science rounds in one show.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you, everybody, for listening this week. We have a Twitter account that we like to check in on. It's at Ladle Brain. We have a Facebook page, Brain Ladle Productions. You can reach us by email, davo@brainladle.com, or kels@brainladle.com, or neil@brainladle.com. We encourage any of you to send us questions, comments. If we get something wrong, let us know. We will be starting a Patreon. We will have it ready to go, and we are very excited to see what happens with it. We appreciate all of our wonderful listeners. Lexi, we appreciate Liz, especially all of everybody's been there since the beginning. So from all of us here at Brain Ladle, this is Davo with
Kels.
and
I wasn't sure if I was on your left this time since we're all kind of being virtual.
It's hard to do clockwise.
You're always on my left because you are such a sinister person.
Anyway, I'm Neil. Sorry.
Signing off.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.